I have a vocal coach. I have a corporate coach that is part of the organization. They are career coaches.
Oh, career coaches, yeah. Okay.
And then personal training that was in the past.
Right.
So I have a few different coaches.
You have
all
multiple
coaching different
coaches.
Things. Yes.
How is it like having multiple coaches? And what would do you recommend this? Like, what's it like for you?
Wow. 好的。
Okay, are we live?
Yes, we are live. Today we are now at episode 12.
How do we get here? I always ask this question. How do we get here?
But somehow I feel that we have recorded a lot of episodes, but then 它才12而已啊. But like I thought that we have talked so much. Maybe because we are communicating a lot by WhatsApp.
I think you know what I really think. I think it's because
I have a long-term relationship with you.
Yeah, excuse me, you do. Hello. No, but what I want to say is, I think this is because we also know that we have planned a few more episodes ahead already. We've had a lot of discussions going on. So we've got ongoing discussions about the topics that we're going to cover.
Yes.
We've got ongoing discussions about topics that we're going to cover in the next few weeks. So right now it's episode 11, right? 12?
Now it's 12.
Now it's 12. I think we're planned to 20 or something.
24.
Is it 24?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why.
So, in case you FOMO, you scared that we are going to like stop soon, please fear not, because we have committed ourselves to another plus 10.
Yes.
So I believe...
Thanks, Paul.
Yes, thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul, and thanks to us. I think until the entire 2024, you will keep listening to us every 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, we really believe in this. We believe in this. It's doing us a lot of good. Yeah, we really want to bring your stories out there and bring our stories out there to improve our lives.
Yeah, and in case you're wondering, I have to give credit to ourselves.
Yes, we do.
We put in a lot of work to this.
Yeah.
Like I know we sound light and we sound chirpy and happy, and this is really how we feel. That's why we are sounding this way. But we really put in work, thought, time to plan all these recording for you, taking time on Sunday very willingly, because we truly believe that there's a purpose on why we're doing it, and there's no bigger reason. It's just wanting to make the world a better place.
Yeah, and throw our energy out into the world.
Yes.
Okay, so today, what is our topic?
Who needs a coach?
Who needs a coach? Okay.
So why are we talking about this?
So I think we feel that this topic is important because personally I have experienced benefits of coaching in my life, which of course I'll come to later. And why? Because I also feel that having a coach is one of the best ways to move from a point A to point B. So I'm a big believer in personal growth and development. So I always feel that anybody at any point of time, you always have a point A, that's where you are, and then you always have a point B to go to. In other words, we are a constant work in progress. We are constantly improving to the day we die, which is why learning is so critical, right? But I think it's also self-awareness to know where is your point A and point B. So I think my point is, if you want to be intentional about your growth journey and move from your point A to point B, then it's great to have a coach, because a coach is the exact reason why you want to grow in your personal development.
Yeah, and I think going to that point of moving from point A to point B, if you're happy being in point A, it's fine. Maybe there's no need for you to move to point B. There's no need for you to have a coach. However, if you're in point A and you are feeling life is meh, you're feeling life is unhappy, if you are feeling there's a gap or there's a lack of something, maybe you don't need to know where point B or your next step is, but that's probably where, if you're feeling these things, you may benefit from having a coach.
Yeah, that's true. Just to help you be a bit clearer in your next steps, what you should be doing. I think sometimes it's good to just have somebody like a third party like that, to just have a look at, just to help you decipher and sort out your thoughts, your direction.
Because we are humans, we are actually meant to grow and change and evolve. Because if we stop challenging ourselves, we stop doing new things, we actually will feel unhappy, jaded, like there's no light. Then you just it's like your soul are taken away from you. I mean, I only say this because like personal growth and development is something that I newly adopted, and I realized that learning makes me feel alive.
Is it new for you, really?
It's quite new. It's like in the past 2 years, and I realized what is self-development. Then I start to have a relationship with myself. So 我是 newbie 来的.
But it's never too late.
It's never too late. And then I've never felt this joyful only after I started self-development, and then with the benefit of many coaches in my life. So that's why we want to talk about this episode.
It's you suddenly when you're talking about that, this Chinese proverb came to mind.
Right? 什么？
逆水
什么？
Oh my god, it's very 逆水不进 Oh, come on, Paul, help me.
破是按摩干当来的。
Oh my god,
那不
okay.
可以的。
Okay, I need to go and sort this out,
他
okay?
是一年读80本书的。
Okay, I need to Google this. It's so embarrassing.
Okay, well, Jeremy Googles
Yes,
this.
yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
I'll just share a few more reasons why we want to do this episode. So, of course, both Jeremy and I, we have benefited from having coaches in our life. And I think also you may have started to notice that there's a rise of life coaches. There are like life coaches, probably sponsored ads popping up. You know, I've noticed there's this NTUC Learning Hub offering coaching certifications.
Yep.
I am a coach. I'm a newly certified nutrition coach. We just want to talk through how having a coach or even being a coach makes you a better person.
That's right. Okay, wait, I
Okay,
found
like
already. I found my
什么逆？
Chinese proverb. It's terrible. Okay, 逆水行舟，不进则退。
Okay,
Okay,
explain.
逆水行舟 means you're on a boat, right? And the waters are coming against you, right? So you're always against the tides. The tides are always against you. 你不进则退. If you don't improve, so that means even if you stay where you are, if you're not putting an effort, even when you stay where you are with the tides that are against you, you're going to go backwards. So what it's trying to tell us is 逆水行舟，不进则退. What it means is the tides are always against you, and even if you stay put, you're already regressing. So in other words, you're always going to have the attitude of continuous learning and propel yourself forward. Yes,
And it
because the
doesn't have
tides
to
are
be
always
fast.
against
It
you.
doesn't have to be fast. It's just step by step, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a mindset. I think it's a
Yeah.
mindset. I think it is. It's an attitude towards learning. Yeah. So and like what you said, having a coach just helps you to actualize the steps, you know, to grow in your personal development.
So now I can imagine our listener will have this question: Who is a coach? What is a coach? What does a coach do? What is coach?
Correct. So how? We're gonna talk about it.
You start. I don't have a definition lah.
Okay.
But you can start.
So I got definition. This is my definition. Okay, so I got one online and my own. So I'll talk about the one I found online. So I think coaching is really using one-on-one conversations to enhance an individual's skills, knowledge, or work performance. Okay. Now personally, this is how I feel. I feel that coaching is an external process. And I'll talk a little bit about that. It's an external process that helps me identify my areas to work on and be a better human being. And I say it's external because a lot of the work that we do is internal. Like we were talking about it a lot, right? Whether it's kind of listening to your own inner voice, whether it's sitting with your emotions, whether it's working through what who you are, your self-identity. So all that's inner work. But coaching is an external process where you actually engage somebody external, somebody who has the right tools, who has the right knowledge and all that to help you. So I think that external process is important. And again, in that Chinese phrase, wow, today I have got 墨水啊, or 墨水啊. We often say 旁观者清.
是的，真的。
Right? 旁观者清 means sometimes you don't see your own
Blind
circumstances, or blind spots so clearly. Often take somebody who is outside your mess, so to speak, to look inwards and go, actually I can see the problem clearer than you do, or see the issues better than you do. And it takes a coach who is vested in you to help you in that journey.
Correct. And the thing is, there are so many coaches out there. There are life coaches, there are career coaches, fitness coaches.
You're saying it's trending now, right?
Trending.
Coaches,
Nutrition coach like me, I'm a nutrition coach. 自己打广告一下. And then there are like so many other coaches out there.
Yeah.
Endless. And I think what they all do is that coaches will illuminate a path for you. They provide active listening and they are trained to be an active listener, meaning to say listening without judgment. If you're a normal person, you know how hard this is. It is hard. I'm not saying that coaches always does that outside of coaching, but they are trained and it is a constant practice for them to learn how to listen without judgment. They will support the client in whatever growth that they want. Say, for example, if you want to be better in singing, you look for Jen, our guest speaker, to be better in singing. If you want to be better in your fitness, you want to learn how to eat better, you will look for a nutrition coach like me or some others. And a coach will also empower you with the tools and the resources to reach the goal that you want step by step. And they also provide accountability. The coach basically makes you believe something is possible. And if you don't believe within yourself, that's fine. That's where you kind of count on that coach.
So when you mentioned the word tools, I got analogy. I told you the analogy I want to share, right? So, but I do want to say that there is a difference here. So there is a difference between professional coaches who has the right tools, which I'll expand on to help you in the process. Then there are also kind of like friends and family or very close friends who are, maybe in a similar industry or similar career development or stage of career or life. And they can also kind of give you life advice, right? So kind of like they can also coach you on certain things, especially if they're more senior or they've done the similar things before. They're able to give the kind of advice. But there's a difference. So this analogy will tell a difference. So I liken it to having a bicycle. So imagine I have a bicycle, right? Okay, I'm cycling at East Coast Park, and then suddenly my bicycle kind of breaks down. Cannot pedal already, right? So the friend who is able to, who has kind of gone through similar experiences, maybe also cycling beside me, then stop with me. Hey, maybe is this wrong? Maybe it's the gear like a problem. Maybe it's your handle. Maybe it's I don't know what the different parts of the bicycle. So they will try to help because they say, I'm also cycling. I'm kind of familiar, but I'm trying to help and see you identify, right? And maybe it's this, maybe it's that. So they are somewhat familiar with the situation. They can give advice, but it may not be so accurate. It really depends on the knowledge of the friend. Now, the other scenario is I'm calling and then it's okay, maybe you can't help or maybe you can help me to a certain extent. Let me get a proper mechanic or bicycle, somebody who really knows about the bicycle. So this person or this mechanic comes with a toolbox, right?
Tools.
The tools have maybe got spanner, got screwdriver, it's got whatever that to release the brake. Maybe it's got like the
You got an instruction manual.
It's got instruction manual. It's got a tire pump, right? It's got all these things can really fix your bicycle.
Yes.
And because it's so experienced at doing it, right? He has seen so many bicycles. One look at my bicycle and go, I know what happened. That thing fell off. Okay, I got the right tool to help you fix that thing, put it back into the system so that the bicycle continues to run properly, right? And maybe the amount of time that the coach takes to fix the bicycle, identifies a problem, fix the problem for you, and then you go on your way. It's a lot, maybe half the time taken from, the friend who's trying to help you, right?
I like this analogy a lot.
Not bad,
like
right.
while friends and family who are also able to active listen to your issue or your situation, they can provide help. But there is a difference between a friend and a coach because the coach has that toolbox, and I think each coach will eventually find their own or expand their toolbox. They bring about different. Okay, so it depends on the specialty. Whether you are a fitness or a business coach, they will have all different toolbox, but they are all unique to the own coach's blend of personality.
Yeah. But this is where I have a question. I think it's very easy to say, then you find a coach, just go and find a coach. But I think my personal experience also is it's not easy to find a coach that you feel you can open up to, you resonate with. So I think that process of looking for the right coach for yourself is also a share word. Like it's also,
I think it takes it's like trying out.
Yeah.
It's really also trying new things. And I think with the rise of coaches, you will notice there's many out there. Depending whether you're looking at a general one or a specialized one. But I think just take the first step to just try it out and have a maybe a discovery call or a connect or just chat with this person or follow this person and really get to understand, who do I resonate with this person? Maybe this coach will work very well for your friend, but he or she may not work very well for you because, we just bring about different personalities and energies. But you will never know until you try.
That's true.
But I hope that, with more understanding and evolution of the coaching industry, people will be more willing to try new things because we have benefited so much from having a coach in our life, right?
Yeah. So maybe I'll talk a little bit about example about my coach, right? So I've got a big sister. Her name is Loretta Chen, right? She's my it's such a journey. She was my lecturer in NUS, and then when I did a bit of theatre, she was my director. And then when I went to events, she was the person who brought me into emceeing. And now she's really like a big sister to me. She's my mentor. She's my life coach, and I can see how in different stages of my life there were so many conversations that we had. But I can quite clearly remember there always some of these pivotal, these pivotal conversations. Those conversations where I know I need to make a big decision. Whether it's a career change or whether it's a big shift in life decisions. And I think those moments are the moments that you really go, I was really glad that I had her as sounding board, whether it's a person who was able to give perspective outside what I saw. That was very helpful because I think a lot of times when you're in it, very messy. It's always very cloudy when you're in it. It's always messy, it's always a bit cloudy. And sometimes when you say and when you kind of describe your situation and your issues, And for somebody who knows you as a person, familiar with you, knows your strengths and weaknesses, so on and so forth, and then has a genuine interest to help you, I think those precious moments and those words that will be uttered by your coach will be extremely helpful. Because I often feel that those words that are spoken will help me to kind of make the picture a bit clearer. Yeah, and then kind of like, chase away the fog. And after the session, I always feel a little bit like, even if the problem is not solved, I always feel that I'm a bit more a bit lighter.
So when do you approach Loretta? Is it like in a coaching kind of a one-on-one 60-minute kind of official coaching session, or is it like a friendly conversation? What kind of environment do you connect with her?
So I think with her the relationship is, I mean, we are friends. We are very, very close friends. But I think when I need to, and I know that when I need to make those big decisions, I will block 1 hour of time. And she will know one. I will say, okay, I need to have a call with you.
Okay, so it's very intentional.
It's very intentional.
It's not just, hey, let's meet for coffee and chit-chat and soon I ask you about my question. No, okay.
No. It's very intentional one. Yeah, because I also feel that she needs to be in that space also.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
this is also very respectful of you, of her time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Because if her intention is, hey, maybe Jeremy's calling me for catch up or gossip, and then I'm going there with my, my issues and I need some advice. I think it's all about time and space, right?
Yes.
Maybe she's in a cafe and it's not convenient to talk.
Correct.
So I think it's all of that. It's making sure that both of us are aligned in terms of the expectations and intentions. And then making sure that we set up the environment to make sure that we have it sorted out. Yeah. So I think that's kind of my experience with coaching.
Very nice. So maybe I will speak about my experience even before, or rather, let me start with my experience as learning to be a life coach.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yes.
so at least-
So 打廣告. Maddy is going to be a live Actually, you are already
I'm
are.
already.
You already are, and you're qualified and
Yes,
you're trained.
yes.
And now you are really kind of working to serve even more people,
Yes,
right?
yes,
With
yes,
coaching.
correct.
So exciting for you.
Thank you. So I'm a life coach with Lito Labs. I'm
Yes.
also a nutrition coach with Precision Nutrition. But I think the whole journey of wanting to be a life coach didn't start out with me wanting to be a coach. I just want to be a better person. I just want to be a better workplace leader
Yes.
in my organization. And then this just led me to, okay, I'm just going to pay this amount of money and then just learn what on earth is life coaching all about. And I think for me, this is with Lito Labs, and we have many super moms, super coaches who are also graduated from this course last year. And it's really transformative for me because going through the weeks of mini coaching modules, learning, really made me become a better person, because I noticed that there's so much judgments that people have, including myself, and every week after week of these mini coaching sessions just let me drop all these judgments away and realize that only with a true desire to learn and love people,
Yes.
then you can heal others.
I like
and
that.
sometimes you don't even need to have a solution. I mean, in fact, there's no solution one, because we are coaches, right? So coaches is really just resourcing the strength from the client.
Yeah.
Sometimes just being there, neutral, no bias,
Yeah.
just makes a person feel more clarified.
Yeah.
And then as a result, you as a coach feel better, and you feel that, wow, I have this capacity to do this, and then just spirals on to like the next growth. I would say.
You know how it's like
Transformation.
some people say like sometimes they say like, oh, I wanna talk and I wanna share my problems, but sometimes they don't really want a solution.
Yeah, they just wanna talk.
Yeah, they just want to feel heard.
Yeah, they just want to feel heard.
And they
correct.
want to feel seen. And I think if you feel that you don't have the right person to in this context, right, to feel heard and to feel seen, again, I think that's having a benefit of a coach. And you use that word judgment free. I really, really like that, and I resonate with that, because in the world of diversity and inclusion, we talk about that a lot. Like, it's called a psychological safe space, right? Like, because you want to be able to be yourself, you want to be able to talk very freely, talk about problems. And come on, let's be honest. A lot of times when you go into coaching and these calls, you get the honest view of yourself.
Yeah.
And it's not always pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, guys, you are not perfect. I'm not perfect. So a lot of times it's really looking at us naked and being really honest about, hey, who am I and why did I do that? Why do I need to improve in this? What's my value system that's driving this? What's my motivation? A lot of these things will surface, and you need to be prepared to know that, hey, this conversation is going to be not tricky, but it's going to be really honest and it's going to be raw. And you want to be able to bring the information in a safe space with somebody you trust.
Yeah.
So that's why the coach is very, very important.
And sometimes, most of the time, we are the ones that's judging ourselves. We are our number one critic.
All the time.
Including coaches like us.
We are our
and
worst
we have
critics.
our own blind spots. We have our own, things that we don't know.
Yeah.
But when we get into a coaching container, a coaching space, a safe space, whereby the coach, listen to you empathetically, without judgment, just by having that space where you can throw out your whatever problems without being judged, suddenly you see that, oh my God, I'm the one that's judging myself.
You yourself
and then
see
you
it,
wake
right?
up your
Just
idea.
by saying those
you
words.
yourself see it with the
Yeah.
right prompting questions that the coach will ask,
Yes.
with that non-judgment space. And that space is, you cannot use words to describe one. It's judgment free, and it takes a lot of awareness, a lot of, it's not just awareness, okay? From the coach point of view, as a coach, I have to be really very neutral, very aware, very loving, super loving, and I have to have this keen desire to help that person.
So tuned in, right?
Very
so
tuned in,
isn't
才
it?
可以 really 帮到那个 client.
So I-
and someone I'm new in this,
Yeah. So I think obviously there's a lot of learning. But I tell you, Maddy, I have full of respect for coaches because you really need to have so much empathy. You need to have so much. You need to be so tuned in. You need to have deep listening, right? Because you need to read between the lines. You need to be able to connect at a very deep level. And I think all these are skills that it's not easy to pick up. And I think you probably need time and all.
Yeah,
So
you need to do it messily. You need to have a lot of courage. You need to tune into what's going on. In the moments whereby when we listen to certain stories, we will judge. Okay, we'll judge what we listen, and then we have to be aware that, oh shit, why am I judging what my client says? Hey, wake up with your idea, Maddy.
Yeah.
Let's be very neutral. We got to keep bringing ourselves back. We
course.
have to be our first client as coaches. Then we can be there to help others.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, it's a lot of vulnerability.
And if I haven't, trained myself to be a coach, I wouldn't do this podcast. I really don't think I would have done this podcast if I haven't taken up the life coach course.
Tell us more. How did this journey of podcast and coaching come together? For you?
Okay. I think in this life coach, these courses that I've taken in the last 6 months, or 9 months maybe, I've become more aware of myself. I've become more accepting of myself, also become more loving to myself, and then realize that, with this lovingness that I'm learning to apply to myself, I realize that I can love more people. I can love others out there. Just become more compassionate, and then possibilities become more.
Yeah.
Then this download came at Sengkang traffic light.
Back
to this story.
light again.
I think I didn't answer your question, but then it just happened. This courage that came about, I think only can happen even if when I'm taking a life coach course.
Yeah.
Just I think it's putting yourself out. This 100% vulnerability.
Yeah.
This, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just going to go out. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, I'm just going to do it.
Just gonna do it and see
it's
where
a lot
it goes.
of this letting go.
Yeah, like what you said, you didn't plan to
I didn't plan to be a life coach. I've never thought.
not at the beginning of the
Yeah.
journey, right?
Yeah, and then realizing that, actually, well, I'm like quite a fitness fitness person. The fitness is my passion. Then okay lah, maybe let me just specialize. And then realizing that, learning another nutrition coaching makes me even better person, even more neutral and non-judgment. Like it's never end to learning.
Totally. And I think when we talk about coaching, I think what I really enjoy about coaching is, and again, it could be the context of someone really professional, right? Like my mentor, my 大姐, or it could be something coming from a friend. So I got a little story to share here, okay? Because I think it's about sharing, it's about opening you to perspective, and often helping you realize that, hey, maybe why didn't I think of that? So I'll share a very recent example, and this is very raw for me, because it really just happened. It just happened this week, last week. So I basically had a really bad episode, okay, with my partner, and it was a really bad quarrel, and I think essentially I kind of felt that we both felt that we weren't seen and we weren't heard, and I had a change of job, and the schedule was a little bit messy,
Okay.
for me, right? And sometimes my love language is just kind of putting things in. So for example,
What's putting things in?
so
Yeah.
for example, like last week we talked about, or the week before we talked about, how micro habits. Okay, we calendar our
Yes, schedule, plan in advance.
schedule our movie nights and all that. So my way of showing love is kind of putting it in the calendar and making sure that it's done.
Okay.
And that's why I thought I thought this is the right way to do it. As long as I block time for it, it's important for me. I block time for it, done. Right?
And all other days I'll do my own stuff.
Yes, right. And that's done. Like tick, I tick
Yes.
done already.
Yes.
So I was having this conversation, and obviously, I was having this. I was a bit emotionally. I was unhappy. I was unhappy for the week, and I was I was in a good space, and I was having this conversation with a really close friend. She's super perceptive, so she's not a coach, right? She's the friend who's also riding a bicycle beside me, right? She may not have a toolbox, but she's extremely perceptive, right? And she was hearing me, and she knows me very well, deeply. We were talking, and she was talking about, I was sharing with her, what went through my mind, etc. And I think a lot of what I said was like, I've already tried my best. I'm doing this because I want to keep the peace and harmony at home. I'm doing this because I want to make sure that the foundation of the house is good, because my relationship is the foundation of my house. So I want to make sure And then she made a really interesting and keen observation and comment. She said, it's so interesting. Of all the things that you said you're doing, and the why and the motivation behind what you're doing, you never said you're doing it because you love him. You never said you're doing it because you don't want to hurt him.
Ooh, so you're focusing a lot on the task.
I was focusing a lot on the task. I was focusing a lot on keeping the harmony at home. I was focusing a lot on keeping things going. Because I feel that relationship for me is a foundation, right, of my life.
Yeah.
So if the foundation is not strong,
momentum,
the house is not strong to be strong, right? So. But a lot of times I just kind of take for granted that the foundation is there. So to me, it's just about kind of keeping the foundation there, keeping the peace at home.
What's missing, do you think?
So we talked about this,
Yeah.
and this is where the coaching part comes in, right? Because it's helping me to. And she made a comment about, I noticed that you didn't say all this. She realized, she said that, what's the motivation for doing all these things? Whether it's calendaring your movie night, what's your motivation?
What's the deep why
Yeah.
of it?
And I realized that my motivation of keeping the harmony and all that shouldn't be the right motivation to do things, because that means it's very mechanical. It becomes me trying to calendar things. It became like me trying to just keep that peace, whatever, but it's me trying to do something. But that motivation was very different. And when she asked me, why didn't you say that your motivation was out of love? So that gave me a lot of time and space to then really deeply reflect. Yeah. And please, I want to be clear. It's not, and the reflection is not about, do I love him or not? That's not the reflection.
But sometimes you're, caught up in the doing.
Yes.
That you kind of had a blind spot to the,
Yes.
to the deep why, right?
Exactly. And then when I reconnected with my motivation, when I reconnected with my why,
So what is your why in actively being so committed in the calendaring, the scheduling, the date nights? What is your deep why?
yes, so my deep why should be because I love him. I do all this and I want to prioritize and block out time because I love him. And because I love him, I should be doing this. And I tell you, something magical happened when I said that.
And you said it? Did you say it?
I said to myself, I said, my motivation shouldn't be to keep the peace and harmony. My motivation shouldn't be to people please. My motivation is because I love him. I'm doing it out of love.
I.
And I doing it out of love. I think the key thing was I was doing it out of love. So that was my coaching moment. And I tell you, that coaching moment just changed the perspective. It just changed 180 degrees.
What
for
do
me.
you do differently after this realization?
So what I realized after, the moment I realized that I should be doing this out of love, and I still love him, and I'm doing it out of love, the level of resentment in me just went down.
Wow.
Because imagine if you're always doing things just saying that I need to, like you're blocking a calendar. After a while you realize that it's becoming a chore, and it's becoming, I should do this, and if I'm doing this I cannot do
It
something
becomes
else.
a means to an end.
It becomes a means to an end, and it builds resentment. And I think that was my problem.
And did you know that you were
was,
resentment? You didn't know that you had resentment?
I think I felt it.
Okay.
I think again that conversation also made me realize that I think I had some built-in resentment. Yeah, because the resentment came from, if I have to do all this at home, then I cannot go out and do other things. So that was a resentment. Yeah, but I think that switch in that thinking and the mindset of, if I'm doing it out of love, I realized, hey, wait a minute, this is quite organic one. Why am I feeling that I need to calendar it? Yeah, and it's just a simple change in perspective. So what I want to say is, it was a change in perspective, but that made all the difference. Like nothing else physically changed, but it's me thinking and knowing that I still love him and I should be doing this out of love. And suddenly, I tell you, the resentment level just went down like, I don't know, 200% or something.
Wow, thank you for sharing this story.
Yeah.
And I think your friend was really came in at the
She came in the right time. I'm thankful for her. I'm so grateful for her. Yeah.
And I really hear, what I hear is that I think coaches, it's not that coaches have powers, okay? You know, we are just...
They don't have magic.
We don't have magic.
No.
Well, I mean, okay, we have magic in different ways, but we are just being a human. We're just meeting you at your level, and then we're just able to give you that space and for you to realize and get your blind spots unblocked.
Yes, yeah. Or help you at the very least, help you to see what are your blind spots. And in my case, it was helping me to see where my motivation was. And the keyword for me was helping me identify my motivation. And once I switched my motivation, that made all the difference in the world. Yeah, so that was... Yeah, I wanted to put an example up because I thought that's a very, very real example of how a coaching conversation could come in and could just change things, because this is exactly what coaching moments are like. Nothing physically has changed. It's not like I grew an extra arm or I like an extra ability to whatever. No, that's not how it is. It is you changing your mindset and going like, wait a minute, I can approach the problem from a different point of view, from a different perspective, and just by doing that, I realized, hey, it's a lot more solvable. It's a lot easier to approach it.
So thank you for sharing. So I don't have specific coaching moments because there's too many of realization moments, but because I have a few coaches that I'm really grateful for, for them appearing in my life.
Right, yes.
And I'm not going to say all of them, but I want to say that, okay, so these are my fitness coaches, my CrossFit coaches, Daniel from Super Coach Academy, my vocal coach, Genevieve, my personal trainer, NK. So all these are the coaches that I have put together on my piece of paper, but they all have a commonality. I mean, in respect of the specificity of the mastery that they bring across, training me to be stronger, training my vocal cords, which in the case of Jen, but they all made me feel that I can do something more than I can at this moment. This is what I really appreciate these coaches in my life, because whenever, whichever, let's say a PT session, like, I feel shit, I feel that I got no strength, there's no way that I can do this weight, there's no way that I can do this a pull-up, for example. But they was with me throughout the entire session and made me believe that I can do it and push me to do it.
Okay.
And then when if you are the one executing that rep or that movement, then I'm like, I can do it. Oh wow, I can. So after every personal training session or a voice lesson, I walk out feeling more confident. I feel like I walk out feeling more clarified that, I can actually do this. I just feel like I leave feeling more that I can do this. That I have an open, I can do this mindset.
That's right.
From a I cannot to a I can mindset.
Yeah.
So these are what I feel that all these coaches bring on the table if you are willing to work with one.
How is it like? And it's interesting you shared that you have a coach for fitness, you have a coach for your vocal training, you have a coach for your leadership. I mean your coaching skills. How is it like having different coaches? Because I think if people are interested, right? Like, I don't even have one coach. You have 3 coaches. How is it like? You have more. Tell me more. You have another vocal coach that you...
I have a vocal coach. I have a corporate coach that is part of the organization. They are career coaches.
Oh, career coaches, yeah. Okay.
And then personal training that was in the past.
Right.
So I have a few different coaches.
You have multiple coaches?
Things. Yes.
How is it like having multiple coaches? And what would do you recommend this? Like, what's it like for you?
Wow. Actually, only when I start preparing the notes, right, then I realized that, wow, I've got a lot of coaches.
You have so many coaches.
I've got a lot of coaches. Then I start to become like even more grateful for them, because if I haven't worked with them in these journeys, I wouldn't be this version of myself. Okay, back to your question. How is it like? I think it's been very rewarding. Because you become a more confident person, you realize that discomfort is necessary because with each coaching, whether it's a strength training, it's discomfort, it's painful, it's tiring.
Yes.
Whether it's vocal coaching, because some of the exercises we do are crazy out of the world. I got to do crazy notes, I got to make crazy sounds. It's uncomfortable because I've never, sung like that before.
Right.
It's uncomfortable. But also, I realize that it is this discomfort that is so necessary to break through to another level of accomplishment. Oh, wow, I become... like last time maybe bicep curl 5 kg is so hard, but now I can do bicep curl 10 kg, for example.
Yeah. You look back on your journey and you go like, okay, I can do a lot better now. I've improved along the way.
And all this cannot be done without the help of these coaches pushing. They really give me a nudge and a push, but yet I don't feel pressured to meet their expectations. It is a process. It's not a one-time solution thing. It's not, but then it's a journey that if you're willing to be open, I think you need to go in with an open mind. What's up? What can I be better? And then just throw caution to the wind and then just try.
I've got another question. So do you feel that you, like, let's say if somebody asking, how long do you need to do all this coaching? Would you feel that you need to do coaching for forever with all of these coaches? How would you know when to stop, or how would you know when you need it?
So maybe I put a perspective answering this question as a nutrition coach.
Okay,
So
sounds good.
I've coached a few clients in nutrition, and these are all coming in with different people come in with different needs and different goals, right? And to when I decide to I think the client, they don't need to be with the coaches forever. And depending on what they want or not, right? But for me, I decide to graduate a client from my heart when I realize that they are empowered to make that decision with regards to food or with regards to embracing their body, or their mindset. But there are some that maybe need more support in connecting with themselves, having a sustainable and a loving relationship with food. Those may need more sessions.
Okay.
So it's really... I don't have an answer, actually.
I think I'm hearing what you're saying. I think the intention is important. So the intention that the client or whoever comes to you with is important, because some of the intention could be like a short-term goal. It could be, and some of it, like what you said, it could be a longer term. It could be something deeper. So I think that kind of like decides, right, or determines the length of that journey you have.
I think there is... Okay, so to answer to this question, there is no fixed length of time. It can be as fast as one session, you walk out, clarify, and you will say goodbye to the coach forever.
So easy, man.
It can be done.
It can be okay.
It can be done. But it can also be a journey whereby you need 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 sessions. And I think that there is no formula.
There's no hard and fast
There's
rule.
no hard and fast rules. It's only decided between a collaboration between the client and the coach together. Then it will happen.
I think if I look back at my fitness journey, like how I've learned to work out in the gym, I think it's also quite in sprints. Yeah, because growth is not a linear. It's not like it's not equal growth
No, it's not equal
for
growth.
every week or every period of time. The growth doesn't happen like that. Growth is quite messy as well. Yeah. And I feel that the period of time that I'm with a coach, and typically I think it's maybe about any time from like a 3-month session, something like
12
this.
or 24.
Yeah, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. And I almost feel that, during the 12 weeks, I learn certain skills and all. But after 12 weeks, I feel like, okay, I'm done. Like, I've learned that set of skills, or I've learned to work out in a better form for this particular exercise, or I picked up certain new exercises. And after a while, I feel like, okay, I'm done with this, and I'm done with the season. I'm done with the season, and I'm moving on because I can train on my own, etc. So I also feel that your coaching journey could be like that.
And in fact, I feel that the responsibility lies in the client.
Of course, always.
Because if you have a coach, but you don't do the work, you don't follow through the whatever tools or whatever resources that the coach gives you.
That's right.
Then you're not going to graduate from it.
Of
Because
course.
it's a collaboration. The coach can give her or his love and tools and resources and advice. But if you don't take action, then you just have to keep spending your time with coaches. And
That's right.
You need I think everybody can benefit from a coach, but it's not a must. But if you have one, it is in your 100% responsibility to make it work for you. You get to own this whole coaching relationship. It's you. It's not the coach. The coach has a responsibility to help you, but end of the day, it's all you.
I like how the conversation goes back to you.
Yeah.
You have to do the work.
Yeah, you have to do the work. I mean, if you decide to pay, either in payment or in time, to this coach, a personal trainer, because to be honest, even if you sign up for a personal trainer to train you, and yes, okay, maybe you train very hard in that session, but if in the days that you don't train with this person, you anyhow you injure yourself or you whatever you stunts you do, you're just gonna waste all your time and your resources away.
Yes, because there's the part about.
So the coach cannot help you if you don't want to help yourself. 就是这样.
Of course, you have to help you. And I think there's always this thing about, and this is one thing you're very good at, right? It is learning something and then putting into practice.
Yeah.
Putting into practice, putting into actual actions, and then being consistent with the action. Because it's always like that. You can go to many courses, you can have coach, but if you don't practice,
read many books
you can
too.
read many books. You can have so much theory. We talked about this before. You can have so much theory, but if you don't put into action what you learn, and there's nothing, and your behavior has not changed.
Yeah.
It's going to remain as a theory. It's going to remain.
You're gonna be
as,
at point A.
You're going to be always at point A. Exactly. You're going to be at point A. So the real mission is for you to move from point A to point B, and that's not going to be theory. That's going to be actions that will move you from point A to point B. You need to do something to change that will get you to point B.
So if you're at point A and you have a coach and then you are not at point B, please don't blame the coach. I have coaches 讲一句 I mean, it's also about you and how much you're willing, how much actions you can take.
Yeah. Which is why I go back to that point about, I think having a coach is also about really having a safe space and co-creating the safe space together. I think you may need to lay some ground rules, agree on what is needed to create a safe space. And you need to be really comfortable to be able to kind of foster the relationship together. I really think so.
I have a few key takeaways.
Sure.
Little actions or thinking to this question of our episode, right?
Yes.
Who needs a coach? I think the key takeaways that I would love our listeners to consider is that first, ask yourself what you want. Okay, if you want to be better in your in being strong, go and get a personal trainer. If you want to be better at making decisions, go and get a career coach or a life coach. They can help. Number two, try it out, because you never know what coach works for you or not.
Yes.
Just try it out. If you find
Yeah.
somebody that resonates with you, like this person on profile, try it out. Okay. If you're interested in nutrition coaching, you can DM me. You can try me out.
Please DM Maddy.
Yeah, and then I think the third one is never stop learning, because like what the Chinese proverb that you say, right?
Yes.
Always learn so that you can move against the tide.
Yes. 逆水行舟，不进则退. Yeah.
Never stop learning. Always
stop learning.
use a curiosity mindset. Be open-minded. And then lastly, if you feel that you don't need a coach, but I mean, if you're Singaporean, right, we have Skills Future. There are coaching courses out there.
Wow, I like that point. I'll
Go
talk about
and
it.
take a coaching course.
Yes.
You don't need to want to be a life coach to be a coach. Just because even if after graduation you decide you don't want to be a coach, can you imagine the help that you can give to somebody who may need that listening ear? Like Jeremy with his friend, with Loretta, right? His mentor. These are people that can help, and you can be the help to another person too. So go and take a course with your Skills Future if you're Singaporean.
So I really want to be on that point, Skills Future. Okay, so if you are, I think Singaporeans are PR, right?
I don't know.
But why do I feel like we're 帮打广告? Why are we advertising about Skills Future?
Don't waste it.
But seriously, the government gave you money in Skills Future. There's lots to go and learn. Lots. And I don't know if, say, coaching
I think there is
available.
Not,
if you want to go for
not
coaching.
sure, but maybe some subsidy. I don't know.
I'm not sure, yeah.
I
But
think
go
there is,
and check it out. But
NTUC Learning Hub have.
Okay, NTUC Learning Hub, exactly, right? So my point is, if you feel that it's, like you don't want to pay for it or money is a concern, then hey, there's money given by the government. If you're Singaporean, I think a PR, I believe. Yeah, but let me get my fact right. But yes, I think you should definitely utilize that, because I hear that the uptake rate of this is not high at all.
Oh, is it?
It's very, very low. Yeah, I'm hearing that actually there's a lot of money in the Future Fund that Singaporeans and PRs are not tapping into.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm like, this is great. This is a great resource for you to tap into to invest in your own life. So please do it.
And no time is not an excuse.
No.
Sorry, please listen to our Micro Habits episode 9. If you think
No
that you
time
have
is
no
not an
time,
excuse.
you
Yes.
can make time. You can.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So I feel that this episode is
Yes.
more or less there. We want to say that it's really, really important for you if you want to move and you're intentional with your growth from point A to point B. If you can, go and get a coach. Start thinking about it, if you have not thought about it. But I would definitely highly recommend
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay, I have my
Okay,
quote.
you have
Very
your
short
quote.
one. I love this quote.
Lai.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Wow.
This quote I think is by Lao Tzu.
Wow, I knew
Maybe,
it.
maybe lah, because I read in Google, they say maybe it's not Lao Tzu, whatever. But again, I will say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Self-explanatory. No need to explain that. Open your mind.
Open your mind.
Then you will suddenly realize that, how come all these people are so wise? How come these people, maybe you chance upon our podcast by coincidence.
Yeah.
Then let us be your teachers then. I'm happy to be yours.
Okay, very good. Yes, good luck for Maddy Liu because she can potentially be your coach.
What's
Okay.
your quote for us?
So my quote is it's something that I think has inspired me quite a bit, and I think when it comes to coaching, I think my point here is don't overthink it lah. Don't overthink it. Okay, so this quote is about overthinking. All right. So the quote is from again, it's part of my Instagram feed, right? That always kind of save into my stories. So it's from this Instagram profile called Momentary Happiness. One word, momentary happiness. The quote says, "Please stop overthinking life like you have to have an answer to every feeling or situation. That's not how life works. We figure it out all by just living. By messing up, by missing an opportunity, by seeking advice and not taking it. We learn what's important and what isn't. Sometimes we have no damn clue what to do, and that's okay. Always trust your gut and know that everything works out the way it's meant to be. It always does. Relax. We were never in control anyway."
Wow.
Yeah.
This points to the episode that we did earlier, right? Listening to our inner voice.
Maybe I think I was inspired by
有一
that
点 link 的。
by that quote. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, when I found this quote, I wasn't thinking about that episode. But I think you're right.
Like doing it messily, there's no
Yeah.
need to have answers.
Yeah.
That's living, that's doing something joyful.
Exactly.
It's not about proving, it's not about
Yeah. Because I love the last line. We were never in control anyway. A lot of us live our life
wanting to
like let's be honest, some of us live our life like you think you know when you're gonna die, the day and the date you're gonna die, and you live like you have always have tomorrow. But the truth is, you don't even know when's your death day.
and the truth is death will come.
It will come.
Truth.
It will come. We're not gonna live
Fact.
forever, so you don't even know when's your death day. So my question is, how much control of your life do you really know? So don't overthink it.
Ayo, everything is speaking to me today, my God.
So don't overthink it. Like if you feel that this year, you want to make some change, you want to make some improvement, just act on it. Yeah. 不用想太多，不用 overthink it. Like, a
How?
lot of times, this is one of those decisions that you don't need to overthink.
We only live
Yeah,
once.
just go and try. Just go and do it. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. We hope you have enjoyed this episode 12. Who
I-
needs a coach? I
Who
hope
needs a
you're
coach?
convinced already.
Yeah.
Yes, my name is Maddy.
My name is Jeremy.
We are
the Imperfect Rainbow.
Thank you, and
Thank
see
you.
you 2 weeks time.
See you next episode. Bye.